Fiction podcast and the Red or Blue Pill. We're streaming on multiple platforms. So we're on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, and another one. Can't remember what the other one is. But one of them is Truth, Stranger Than Fiction, which is on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook is the Red or Blue Pill. It's going to be the new stream on YouTube, though. That's where most of you guys watch the Red or Blue Pill. But we're doing it on the Truth, Stranger Than Fiction podcast, so we don't need to compromise, because I know you guys like the non-lives. So we're going to split it up. The Truth, Stranger Than Fiction podcast is going to be set up now, which is this channel, to do the lives, basically. And I'm hoping to start getting some guests on and doing some deep dives into topics. But for now, I'm going to do what we do, but live, which is go over creepy TikToks that question reality. I'll wait for you guys to drop in as we go along, but I'm gonna go by. I'm gonna start now, and then if you want to catch up, you just have to go back, peeps.
While the world is focusing on Florida, not many people know that the Sahara Desert is flooding right now. And the pictures are insane. After 6 consecutive years of drought, the Moroccan Sahara was hit with what meteorologists called an extra tropical
Hey Craig, how you doing?
amount of rain that the region hasn't seen in up to 50 years. And here's the crazier part. This flooding may actually change the course of the region's weather for months and years to come. That's because the air will now retain more moisture, which causes more evaporation and draws in more storms. NASA satellites showed water rushing in to fill the famous Lake Erie, which had been dry for almost 50 years.
Is this going to be our generation's JFK conspiracy theory? Because
Okay. Floods in the Sahara Desert. Bingo Carter 2026. Rumble. You like Rumble, Craig?
when did you find out they paved over the area where Charlie Kirk got shot just 5 days after it happened? Or what Google search terms were trending in the White House region just a few days before alleged gunner Tyler Robinson is said to have sniped Kirk from a rooftop about 200 yards away, with initial claims stating the company behind the paving job was Precision Granite and Marble LLC, owned by Matt Robinson, Tyler Robinson's dad. Now, later reports interjected, claiming the official contractor remains undisclosed, and somehow no one really knows who was actually behind the job. But still, why pour cement and bricks all over the crime scene of such a high-profile incident just a few days later? Which they did on a Sunday, just the most rushed and spontaneous paving contract you could ever imagine. Oh, because they
Sunday, the day of rest. They seem very busy.
It was part of a routine post-incident restoration and safety cleanup after investigators had finished processing the scene. Restoration and safety cleanup by permanently paving over the site with bricks? Right. I'm sure that's exactly what it was. Just like how searches for Tyler James Robinson, the full name of the main suspect behind the shooting, skyrocketed on September 12th when the police caught him. Which makes sense. Everyone wanted to know who he was and were looking him up. But if you go back just a little bit on Google Trends, we see a small spike for this very specific name on September 9th. The day before it happened. And zooming in, we see that search spike just so happens to come out of the Washington, D.C. region, where, you know, the U.S. government operates from. Kinda weird, don't you think? I'm sure it's nothing, but it doesn't end there. Because searches for the term Losi Center, which is the name of the campus building that Tyler shot from, also sees a totally random spike in search activity on September 8th. 2 days before it happened out of, you guessed it, the DC area. And again, we see the huge surge here after the rest of us found out where it happened. Or the search term Mauser 98, a fairly obscure vintage German bolt-action rifle from World War II that happened to be Robinson's very specific weapon of choice for the job, saw its own nothing to see here spike in search volume on August 27th, exactly 2 weeks before the incident. Once again, from the capital DC region of the United States. Not implying anything here, just showing you the Carfax. As a matter of fact, you can even look this up yourself to confirm. This is publicly available data on Google Trends after all. Oh wait, never mind, you actually can't, because when you search those terms within those time windows now, the data is gone. So now we get a divide. The conspiracy theorists are going to claim the government and Google is scrubbing the search data from the internet, rewriting reality, making it seem like it was never there to begin with. Ministry of Truth style, 6 feet under. And
Okay, so this lady just said,
Yeah, I ain't too sure what's happened with Charlie Kirk, but there's definitely stuff. It all feels just very showy. I don't know. the whole thing is weird. In Valhalla, where is this? That guy said it, didn't he? The politician said, I'll see you again in Valhalla or something.
What if all the data centers that are currently being built are for the underground bunkers so that it doesn't pollute the underground system? So they're building them up here, because why now all of a sudden are we having all of these massive bunkers? So I went down the rabbit hole, and let me show y'all the timeline. So in 2025, Catherine Austin Fitts, who was the former U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, she actually came out and said that there was a missing $21 trillion worth of funds, and it all went to this $21 trillion underground city that had been built between the 90s and the early 2010. She also discussed this on Apple TV on a show called Beyond Belief in 2019. During the 2025 interview with Tucker Carlson, she said that $21 trillion that went missing was actually secretly diverted by the U.S. Gov between 1998 and 2015 to construct a network of about 170 underground and undersea bunkers intended for the elites. Now, based on the info I was able to find, it says that the United States is home to an estimated 4,000 to 5,500 operational data centers, accounting for roughly 40 to 45% of all facilities worldwide. Now, they want people to think that these data centers are currently being built because AI has taken off. But do y'all know that ChatGPT was only publicly released on OpenAI on November 30th of 2022? And even though we're just now seeing the uprise of all of these data centers and seeing the way that they're draining water, this is nothing new. In fact, the first massive commercial hyperscale data center per Google says it was built by Google in 2006 in the Dalles, Oregon, spanning over 1.3 million square feet. It revolutionized the industry by introducing a massive warehouse-style architecture specifically optimized for cloud computing and internet services. So, if these data centers have been around since 2006 and they started building those bunkers in 1998? And now all of a sudden we're seeing an uprise in data centers to the extent that cities are losing electricity, cities are losing water. Would it not potentially make sense that there's a strong possibility that these data centers are not just for the people above ground, but potentially for the cities underground? I don't know. When she saw it, it just made me go down the rabbit hole. I decided to do my research, and this is what I came up with. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Per usual, this is all alleged.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense. They spend a lot of money on data centers, huge amount of money, and there's a lot of money being put in by billionaires into underground bunkers. So I don't know, maybe they are powering something underneath. Maybe that is where it is, because there ain't a lot of money going into our world, that's for sure. That would make sense for sure. Yo, exceptionally, pinoinated. How you doing? Good to see you.
Can't confirm or deny.
This is for entertainment purposes only, people, as well. Do your own research. And this is the live stream now on the Truth, Stranger, the Fiction podcast, which we're going to do more and more of if we start getting the numbers in that want to see the live stream.
But I definitely implore you to do your research. Whatever else I find out, I'll be back. Like, follow, stay for some more tea.
If they are from this planet, why do they have to wear sunscreen? Why? Which has melanin inside of it. Yes, it does. There's an ingredient that they don't want to tell us about. Why do we have to wear sunscreen? Because we don't, but you do. The reason why you have to wear sunscreen is because your skin is made out of an ingredient called pheomelanin. Pheomelanin means animal melanin. They have the same melanin as a motherfucking animal.
I have been wondering, and for some reason I have been going down this rabbit hole on sort of what it would have looked like if there was no clouds and it was just sun on this planet. Because obviously you tan more when there's no clouds. I feel like all clouds could be fake, you know, and that the Earth previously was indigenous and that was the way it was. And then somebody come over and decided to take over, colonize, you know? But I don't know. It's just a theory I'm working on at the moment. Opinionated. All right.
Okay, so what I'm about to show y'all is full proof that we've definitely been lied to, because let me know where y'all think this is. Like, drop it in the comments right now. Where do y'all think this is? This is footage from 1925, and this was posted over 5 years ago and has been confirmed to not be AI. Yeah, this is Jerusalem in 1925 before Israel was formed in 1948. And I just say that to say, how many times has there been a great reset? And how does that process work? Like, what do they do with these people? They go in because right now you're seeing the blackout happen in Cuba. You're seeing everything happen in Gaza. You're seeing all of these different countries just have a complete paradigm shift, like a complete shutdown and breakdown, and then another takeover. And I'm just looking at this and I'm like, look at how beautiful, how rich this land was. Look at the people, okay, and how they looked. Yeah, this is definitely not giving what we're being told is the truth today. And it just goes to show that this was never taught to us in school for a very specific reason, because I've definitely learned about Helen Keller and Anne Frank, but why wasn't I taught about this part of history? This is in 1925. And who was recording? And how much more footage is there out there just like this? I have never ending questions, okay? But let me know if you've ever seen this footage. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Per usual, these are my personal opinions. This is all alleged. I can't confirm or deny any information, but more than ever, every day, I go down these rabbit holes, and I definitely implore you to do your research, because look at this, y'all. Let me know if you've seen this before, or if you've seen footage like this of other countries that just lets you know that the truth that we're being told is not the truth at all. Like, follow, stay for some more tea.
People with real life.
Yeah, one thing's for sure is that I ain't too sure what we've been told about history is correct for sure. I don't know if that was an AI video or what, because I don't even know what videos we're supposed to have at what time. I should probably do a little bit of research of what it's supposed to be. But yeah, what we've been told is very, very doesn't feel right with what you can see around.
Superpowers. This is Natasha Demkin, known as the girl with X-ray vision. At the age of 10, she suddenly claimed to have developed the ability to see inside the human body, describing it as flipping a switch between normal vision and a special vision that can scan a person, almost like a machine, identifying organs, detecting illnesses, and pinpointing injuries, all without any form of medical training or equipment. Doctors, patients, and researchers have traveled from around the world to meet her, many reporting that her descriptions of their internal conditions were shockingly accurate. She was later asked by scientists to match medical conditions to a group of patients she had never met. In most of the cases, she was able to correctly identify them, leaving researchers absolutely stunned and unable to fully explain what she was doing or how. Science has theories on it, but no real answers. But for the thousands of people who sat in front of her and watched her describe their body from the inside out, I guess how doesn't really matter that much.
Well, it's weird because the Elon Musk's chips have come out. He reckons that people that are blind are going to now be able to see, but see with that vision. I can't remember what it's called, like X-ray vision, but basically see through walls and see. Basically, you have superpowers. So if there was cloning, which I believe there is, and people with technology was cloning, and they were doing this before they was aware, then we would potentially have super babies being born, and they would have powers, and it would be like they were like Superman, I suppose. But it's just very advanced technology that's could have been here the whole time.
I'm sorry, but they are about to do what? Scientists and leading experts around the world are proposing something that literally sounds insane, but well, just wait till you hear the reason why. They are wanting to spray chemicals into Earth's magnetic field to, well, protect us from the sun. Well, we like the sun. Well, we changed our mind. Well, the reason for this is because if a powerful solar storm hits Earth directly, it could actually knock out satellites, GPS communication, and even parts of the power grid for good. It could be pretty bad. Like, we've had some bad solar flares come towards us, but a full-on solar storm direct here, we'd actually be cooked. So scientists have called this system Storm Wall, and the idea is basically this. 6 different spacecraft would sit near Earth in the atmosphere, and when a dangerous solar storm is detected that it could come to our proximity, then these spacecraft will release materials such as barium and lithium into space in the atmosphere. Sunlight would then turn these particles into plasma, and that plasma works to basically thicken Earth's magnetic shield and obviously protect us from the actual solar storm. So yeah, this is pretty smart, but it wouldn't stop the storm completely, but Simulations of the massive May 2024 geomagnetic storm that we all had suggest that if this was in place, it could reduce the intensity of over 50%. And as I say, this is important because a lot of solar storms don't just create cool auroras like the Northern Lights. They can be very disruptive, and imagine if you're on a plane when one hits. Probably don't want to imagine that. There's one big issue with this whole system though, because Operation Stormwall would likely only work once and cost a lot of money, because after one major solar storm hits us, well, the whole system would need to be replaced, and that isn't cheap. I'll keep you updated.
A secret society has been exposed, and it involves Democrats, Republicans, European leaders, and also Jared Kushner. Hold on, get on your tinfoil hat. Is the Saison Island somehow tied to this secret society that wants to prepare for World War III? 200 members of the global elite are set to attend Peter Thiel's Secret Society Retreat, featuring discussions on cult building, sex, and preparing for World War III. If you were preparing for a world war or a post-apocalyptic world, you would need a bunker. And this is where Jared Kushner may get involved. Again, hold on tight. So what's interesting about this story is Peter Thiel's organization is called Dialogue, a private invite-only society compared to Bilderberg and the World Economic Forum. The organization was founded by Peter Thiel. I know this reads like this is Alex Jones 101. The Bilderbergs, the Democrats, the elites, the skeleton people. This is real, and it's been released. This is why the issues in this world, they're not left versus right. They're up versus down. In 2025, Dialogue purchased land in D.C. for a planned campus. They say that they don't have a website accessible to the public or disclose membership. Well, how about this breaking news? Embedded in the code of their closed-off website, there is what seems to be a list of some members. Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard, Jared Kushner, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers, Cory Booker. There's New York Times journalists that are involved. The thing that stood out to me most about Peter Thiel's dialogue was the diversity. Not the kind we usually argue about. Societal diversity. Every layer of power in one room, that is the whole design. So yeah, they literally show this. They've got people from the right, the Koch Foundation, Ted Cruz. On the left, Cory Booker, Governor Moore. So multiple Democratic governors. They've got the money, Treasury Secretary Bessent, Brass and Wires, NATO commanders, ex-Intel chief Palantir, Screen and Pulpit, Washington Post, Ezra Klein, actors, clergy, left, right, brass, money, screen, pulpit, all in one room, all off the record. As someone who believes in equal rights, I'm deeply offended at the lack of women represented on this list of members of Peter Thiel's secret society. Where are all the evil women?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because they are preparing for World War III. Because I think they know that World War III is going to come, because it's part of a script that we don't know about, but they clearly do, because they know something. So you wouldn't spend that amount of money on bunkers and things, would you? Unless you knew something was coming. For sure.
¿Cómo es posible que los Simpson hayan mostrado a Lisa exactamente igual que a Kamala Harris años antes, ChatGPT?
No es una coincidencia. La imagen fue colocada deliberadamente.
There's one I'm waiting for now is the World Cup, and that's the prediction of Portugal versus Mexico in the final, with Portugal winning. And if that one comes true, then I know the world is scripted.
Enviar un mensaje oculto, una señal de que el futuro ya estaba trazado, un guión que solo unos pocos pueden ver.
So CERN is set to close down on June 29th, 2026. Okay.
Again.
It'll be shut down for 4 years until June of 2030. So that's fun, you know, especially given that they're building a new one, which is like 10 times the size of the current one, something like that.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Where?
In I'll show you. We'll pull it up in a second. So the last time it shut down was between 2018 and 2022.
That was a fun time for us all, wasn't it?
Listen, I didn't think that there was any like unrest around the world at all, right? There's zero doubt that between now and 2030, the entire world will be radically changed. That's for absolute sure.
I have goosebumps.
And this is all happening as AI emerges as this thing that is going to literally completely change the whole world. You got to ask yourself, doesn't it feel like that all kind of came out of nowhere? You know what I mean? You're like, I mean, I know they've been talking about AI, whatever.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it
Just like popped up one day and it's like, oh, ChatGPT's here.
And
here you go.
What if I told you?
Yeah, 100%. This is crazy. So the last time CERN shut was between 2018 and 2022, which we know what happened. So what was that all about? You think it'd be the opposite way around, though. Like when it starts up, things would be going crazy, but it ain't, which is really weird. And then AI has just come out of nowhere, but I'm convinced it's always been around. And it kind of makes sense now for me. You know what I mean? Oh, yo, Doghead, how you doing? Yeah. We're trying to do some lives on the truth stranger than fiction. We'll see if we can get the lives going again. Here we are on a Saturday. I think it's like 4 o'clock, isn't it, in the UK?
Were built to live 300 years, maybe even more. I'm not talking fairy tales, not Bible stories, not gods or magic. I'm talking real human biology, the kind they don't teach you about. See, in ancient times, China, India, even early Africa, people lived hundreds of years, not once, not twice, over and over, different cultures, same story. And here's what gets me. How did ancient people from completely different parts of the world all come up with the same exact lie? Not a similar story, the same numbers, hundreds of years lived again and again. Different cultures, no contact, no reason to copy each other. So either they all somehow imagined the same thing, or maybe it wasn't a lie at all. Maybe it was the truth and someone turned it into a myth on purpose. The truth is our bodies were built to last. We've got systems inside us that repair cells, fix damage, even reverse aging. But now they don't work like they used to. Why? Because somebody tampered with the system. They changed the food, they poisoned the water, they filled the air with signals and dust. They gave us pills for everything and made sure nothing truly healed. You think it's all by accident? No, this was a plan, because a man who lives 300 years, he remembers, he questions, he doesn't obey so easy. But a man who dies at 70, he forgets everything and passes it on before he ever figures it out. So no, your body didn't fail you. They just broke it on purpose, and they've been doing it for a very, very long time.
Okay, let's.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it started in the Old Testament. God limited it, didn't he, to 120 years? But I don't know if I could do 300 years on here. Really? I don't think so. But yeah, you would know a lot more for sure, because I'm not 40 yet, but I can tell this is a shizzle show, you know what I mean? So I don't know how long we'll live for, though, because there's it's like we're getting to a point now where we're starting to work out how we make ourselves live longer again. But I don't think that's what's supposed to happen from the Old Testament. We're supposed to be limited, right? I don't know. I'll leave the religion there anyway.
Just for 1 second. It's not the sun. It's what the sun is shining through. That is what I think has been altered. That is what I think has been changed. I think that when you see a rocket being launched up into space, well, we know space is fake, but they're doing something. Something is actually happening right below the firmament. And I think they're actually manipulating something up there, which is creating the effect down here on Earth where we look out and we go, that sun does not look the same. Even on a day when there's zero clouds, there's something strange about the sky. What do you guys think? Comment down below.
I agree. And there was a lady actually who says that she's been doing sun gazing for years in the same place, and she used to always do it, and she was up high in the mountains, but she don't do it anymore because it ain't the same sun. And I can agree. I'd like the sun just doesn't feel like it used to be. You know what I mean? It just feels, I don't know, it's white LED. Yeah, I don't know. But that's somebody who's, I mean, I've never really sun gazed. I wish I did, because then I'd probably know a lot more or have an understanding a lot more. I just know that the sun just doesn't feel the same. Even when like you sunbathe, it just, I don't know, something not right. They're doing summit somewhere for sure.
It's gonna be the craziest thing you're ever gonna see ever. Hey. Look at the size of that thing! Holy moly! Holy, I accidentally broke it. Holy shit!
Was that a massive mushroom? I think it was. Hmm.
They are literally wiping the slate clean, and not in a good way. They're using these AI centers to basically change the molecular structure of our living water. The water that holds the code in memory that makes our existence, that makes us. All the information that we feed these AI platforms, well, guess what? It's taking it and it's erasing it or restructuring it. And then it's spitting it back out. Literally recycling new consciousness in order to stop the awakening that's happening. They're doing everything that they can. And it's not about cooling these machines. It's about rewriting our existence as we know it. Call me crazy if you want. I really don't care. But my intuition says that this is spot on. We really need to look into this more.
I seem to be coming across a lot and thinking a lot about water and memory for some reason. I don't know why. But water holds memory. Like, there's something to that, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
School directors wore berets and the glasses, and I thought, that's what I'm doing. I've been around for over 50 years doing movies, but I can't tell when I look back the difference between the events. And I said, I'm a director this time. You're an actor. Play the part of a director. Look like an old school director. So I looked up pictures, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and the old school directors wore berets and the glasses. And I thought, that's what I'm doing.
I don't know what is going on here, you all. How does John Travolta look this young at the age of 72?
They're wearing body and face suits. That's what I think at the moment.
And is it just me, or does he sound completely different from John Travolta when he was talking in that clip that you watched? Again, I don't know what is going on here. Maybe this is John Travolta, maybe just maybe, or maybe there is something more going on here, but you have to admit there are a lot of strange things happening anymore. And again, I don't know what is going on, but there are a lot of bizarre things happening, and this is really giving me Jim Carrey vibes. Remember when Jim Carrey looked different? Again, why does he...
Have we seen Jim Carrey since? Or is it just that one appearance? Because I ain't seen him. I ain't seen him since. And it's not just Jim Carrey, it's the whole of Hollywood, isn't it?
Why does he look younger? And why does he sound so different? Again, maybe this is John Travolta. Maybe there is nothing to see here. I really don't know what is going on anymore.
Glamour Gal's collection. Glamour Gal! Doll, party place, fancy fireworks, the show place collector's kit. Each sold separately. You can send in proofs of purchase from any 3 Glamour Gals dolls. Jessie, Danny, Lonnie, or Shara in any of 3 outfits. And get Jessie in fancy formal.
Everyone is losing their minds over this 1981 commercial, calling her a time traveler, and honestly, I was ready to ignore it until I seen it side by side. You cannot tell me that there's not some similarities. But then someone pointed this out, and actually, it gets weirder. Now people are pulling up photos from 1985, and it's the exact same face. The forums are going insane right now, just tearing apart the timeline and the bone structure. It's not that people are saying she's a clone, it's the noticing how often the same face just shows up throughout history. At what point does a coincidence stop being a logical answer? Because it just feels like the internet is catching on to something. Does anyone else see the pattern? Let me know, because I'm done trying to make sense of all this.
I see the pattern. It's like vampires. I'm sure we've got a lot of people that seem to be... it just seems to be like loads of like blood sacrifices in history. There seems to be a lot of weird stuff going on around blood at the moment now, and there just seems to be a lot of people that look very similar to each other throughout history, which for me, I think there is people that live hundreds of years, if not thousands, that's tearing around this place. And they got a massive advantage because they've got all the tech and all the knowledge. And we have to try and get through. We've got amnesia, basically, trying to work out what's going on within a short lifespan. It's quite difficult.
We taught how to extract water out of the air, and why aren't we taught how to generate our own electricity without relying on the power grid? The answer is knowledge is power, and they want you.
There we go. Knowledge is power. See, the more time you've been here, the more knowledge you got.
Literally. This book will teach you things that were never discussed in school. You can get it now with free shipping by clicking the orange card below.
I do not care about the dialogue Peter Thiel's social network story. And honestly, neither should you. And I am not usually in the business of telling people what they should and shouldn't care about, but I'm going to make a special exception this time because what is going on with this coverage? I feel like I am losing my mind here. Our attention is just about the only thing that we have left that holds immense value, and it just pains me to watch people spend it on stories like this that I don't even understand what the story is. You guys, it is a list of rich people who all happen to know each other, who all happen to pay absurd amounts of money to go to the same conferences that was carelessly left on the front end of the code of somebody's website. That is what this is. Like, it's not a hack. Nobody hacktivists their way to this information. In fact, it was sourced from 2 anonymous sources and without the methodology of how they found it. And with any story like that, I'm sorry, take it with a huge grain of salt, okay? Because this does not affect you. It doesn't. This story of these billionaires who are all kind of gross, knowing each other, is just a Tuesday. It is stories like this, in my opinion, that is everything wrong with the consumption of news today. I don't know when this happened, but at some point, the incentive to make you feel informed decoupled from the obligation to actually inform you. You know? And then, as a consequence of that, accountability all of a sudden was replaced by exposure. And exposure feels like accountability, you know, names, leaked documents, and these secret networks, but only if someone with power to act on it actually does. And when nobody acts, nothing changes, and exposure is just content. And the result of what all of that produces is a population that is genuinely exhausted, genuinely engaged, and genuinely powerless. A list like this, without fail, every time always gets consumed as this scoreboard of names, you know, not as any information that you can actually act on. And like the test I run any story through before I decide if I'm going to pay any modicum of attention to it is asking, does this affect anything? Can you do anything with this information? And does it change how power works? Dialogue answers no, no, and no to all of them. And yet here we are still bleeding attention to a freaking guest list. You know what does check all of those boxes? A story that dropped the same day as the dialogue story. Okay? It is the fact that the Trump administration has shifted over $352 million of federal funds from the Treasury over to the ballroom. That's right. We are now at a $600 million ballroom, shed that is covering a military apparatus that is almost certainly going to be used to surveil you. And Palantir, you know, Peter T.
We are literally building our own prison. Like, we're in a prison planet anyway, but we're literally building something which is going to surveil us. It's crazy. And it is very weird how related all the royals, prime ministers, presidents, celebrities, anybody basically on the TV, how related they are. Like, that's very strange, I find. Hey, we are done. Hope you're well.
That everybody's talking about right now in the dialogue conversation, they are the ones that are going to be the center of that military apparatus underneath the ballroom. This is probably the most important story of the century, if I'm being honest. Okay, yet anytime anybody is talking about the ballroom, especially on social media, it either gets simplified down to being a grift or a conspiracy theory, or people make the joke that it's a ballroom or whatever, but it does not get taken with the weight and severity that actually is underneath it, quite literally, because the ballroom is going to touch every single person in this country. And I mean that every single day for the rest of your lives. And the only window we have to ask any questions about what is going on down there is right now, and that window is closing. Like I said, your attention is the last thing that you still own outright. So for the love of God, act like it.
Yeah, I mean, we've been given a lot of information, but yeah, it's hard to really know what you do with that information and how you do anything. You're just kind of waiting for people to do the right thing, but it doesn't feel like anybody's doing anything with the Epstein files, for instance.
I need to tell somebody about this right now. We need to protect these data centers. Did you know the data centers, despite being made of cement and stone wool, they're not fireproof? I know gasoline just burns on the surface and would trickle off right away, wouldn't do anything. But if somebody was to pour gasoline down the entire HVAC and ventilation system, it could be incredibly dangerous for the data center. And we need these data centers. I mean, they produce tens of jobs. So we have to have these. So nobody should ever go near a data center with anything flammable, because it could go up in flames, and then that would be the end of that. I mean, data centers do so much for a community. They make sure that our water gets used. They make sure the electricity is being used efficiently. So we really need to make sure these are protected at all costs and make sure everybody knows these aren't flammable, and we should be really careful around the data centers.
Yeah, I think he was talking in code. What do you reckon? Do you know what? I think if I could choose right now, I would just have rid of technology completely. If I could just wave a magic wand and get rid of it and just go back to the good old days, you know what I mean? Like back to the days where it's just an Atari, or you play like a Sega Mega Drive that's not connected. That's as far as it goes with tech. But everybody just goes out and plays and stuff and connect with each other. Far better world.
We don't really know. Yep.
I'm scared of.
Look, it's just a storm.
Like, I'm really scared of a tornado coming.
Yeah, maybe I don't think it will come. That's definitely getting closer, isn't it?
Whoa, this is some Thor stuff, right? This is weird. I pre-record it. Hey, guy host. Don't worry, I've pre-recorded 2 videos, so there's 2 videos coming tonight. We've got one on one channel, one on the other one. One American time, one UK time. But one of the videos I did today was about Odinism. Like, we watched a program where there was like sacrifices going on, and they were sacrificing to who they believed was God, and their religion was Odinism. This is all new to me, but it's like the Nordics. It's basically like Thor, Odin, and Freya, like mythological apparently, but before pre-Christian date, this is what they believed. And obviously their names, which I didn't know as well, is actually after like Thursday is Thor's day. These I think these are real people, you know. But the point I was making was Odinism was like there was some sacrifices going on to their gods, which you know, that's not a good thing. I don't think. I don't know what the sacrifice is all about.
Wicked, man.
Inside! Get inside!
What's going on?
Just want to point out as well, you often see these shapes in these buildings that are now called churches, etc. But these shapes are not accidental. If you look into something called cymatics, you'll see that when sound is played through water, etc., or if you put like sand on a speaker and play it at different frequencies, it creates different shapes. And these are more often than not the shapes that it creates. Very weird.
Probably because that little one looks like an entry fork right there. The one on the right, that small one, that's probably for a smaller ship. Get a close up of that. But I didn't get a chance to go up in there. Are you fucking shit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count 5 different entry points to this alien base. This is the reason why I've stayed in Antarctica so long. Look at this fucking thing. I'm giving an interview about alien bases and one shows up right behind me. This is a daily thing here. This is something that has kept me in Antarctica because I want to know more. And without the proper military support, I can't go deeper into this because this is NATO territory. It's been closed off. But a guy can wonder and a guy can watch from a distance. And
Now, this is the guy that's no longer around, isn't it? What's he doing in Antarctica then? I didn't know who this guy was. He's just come out of nowhere.
here so we can try to get this footage and upload this to the internet where everyone can witness this for free. You don't have to hide this. I'm so sick of the government hiding what's really going on here in Antarctica.
Me too.
But I warn you, if you make any further inquiries, or if you say a single word to anyone about what you have seen, there will be the most dire consequences.
It's the year 2035 and we did it. We created a whole new human civilization on Earth. It's 10 years from today and we heard what they had to say about 2030, where we would own nothing and be happy. And we decided against that. We decided to build a future for us where machine and men did not reign. So the first thing we did is we spread out. We left the cities. We realized we'd only ever been there for opportunities and education. And both of those funneled us and our children into lives that we so desperately wanted to escape. So we spread out. We bought houses with bigger yards, small acreages, pieces of land where we could reduce our dependency on the systems that had been built to keep us dependent. We started to grow our own food. We unschooled our children. We started to educate them ourselves. We educated them based on their interests and their passions. We started to work on our marriages. Oh, we realized all of a sudden that marriage, our families, are the foundation for our lives and our civilization. And there's not much more important thing that we could do. So we worked on them. We healed our traumas and dysfunctions so they wouldn't be passed down to the next generation. We gave our kids opportunities to develop strength and grit and determination. They learned about self-love. We reconnected ourselves to God, to the creator of this planet, the creator of you and the creator of me. We put them at the center. We made family first, and we started to reconnect with this earth, and we took the world back. That is the future that we can do.
Well, I certainly prefer 2035 version than 2030. We'll see. Probably AI. What do you think?
Man, I'm telling you, this fucking, the United States government, the 13 families, whoever, they are using energy weapons on me. They are attacking me with a weapon that is literally microwaving my body. They are trying to fucking kill me. And they're putting something in me that is making me angry. I cannot stand this. This needs to be followed up. These fucking people are trying to kill me. So if I'm fucking dead before the week's over, just fucking know who's doing it.
Wow, that's pretty serious. Pretty sure energy weapons is a thing.
This is the strangest thing we have stumbled upon in Ethiopia. This is just a regular lamppost, right? Turns out, though, it says it's got wireless charging. So, let's see, is it gonna work? And over here, you've got USB. USB-C is wild. Not even like planes have that right now. You just plug in and charge here as well. Damn. See you later. No, that thing will be gone in 2 minutes. What do we think? Is this a good idea or not?
A friend and I joke all the
It's crazy, isn't it? It's just, it's too much technology. We need less. Less is more.
time about how life just feels like Groundhog's Day. Groundhog's Day, maybe with a side of Truman Show, Black Mirror, and some Twilight Zone. But, you know, for the vast majority of us, life just feels like Groundhog's Day. And we all know, right, back in 2020, life changed forever. We will never get normal back. That's just when life, you know, took a dive. But what's interesting is in 2026, it feels like there was another shift. And ever since this year started, it honestly feels like there's been a palpable tension in the air. And for believers who feel like something is coming, that's the Holy Spirit, we can feel the return of the Lord is near. But what's interesting is non-believers can feel like something is coming too. I'm watching New Agers. I'm watching, people who don't believe in anything. So many people can feel like something.
I think it's, if I was to bet, it's good. It's Terminator is coming. That's where I'm starting to think we're at.
Thing is coming, and there's this tension in the air. It's like a balloon is about to pop. Something is about to break, because the spiritual realm is becoming more real. It is, the veil is thinning, y'all. That is what is happening right now. That is why the world feels the way it does, because the literal veil between our dimension and the spiritual realm is thinning. Evil is literally starting to flood this world. That is what people are feeling. The veil is thinning. That dimension is starting to crack open, if you will. And what is in that dimension, in the demonic kingdom, is flooding into this dimension. This world is about to enter into the 7-year tribulation, and it is about to become a lot more supernatural. People are going to literally see demonic entities. And that's why there was an article a few years back, warning people about seeing demon faces. That is their way of telling us what is coming. It's foreshadowing about what is coming. And that's, going to become a reality for a very, for everybody. They are going to see demons, not just in people, but physically walking around. Demonic entities are going to manifest physically. But it's just interesting that everybody can feel it. And in 2020, when the world just drastically changed, life was normal before 2020. And then, whatever they did at CERN, whatever they do, they ushered in the next phase. And I feel like in 2026, they shifted it again. And we are in the final phase. I think I spoke about this prior, but about a month ago, I've been really struggling with videos, feeling just like there's nothing else to talk about. And I know when I say that, people don't really understand, but it just, in my spirit, I feel like I've said everything that I can say at this point, but it also felt like, put the pencil down, put the pen down, your assignment is done. And I will not stop until the Lord takes me home. I want to make that clear, but that's just the feeling that I have. And it's interesting that happened in 2026 while everybody else feels like something is like the balloon is about to pop. It's just interesting how everything that is happening right now is kind of merging and kind of settling in 2026, and just something else changed, something else shifted this year. And even when I'm on social media, trying to pay attention to what is going on, reading the, news headlines, if you'll notice, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but nothing ever comes to anything. The Strait of Hormuz is open. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. The Strait of Hormuz is open again. The Strait of Hormuz is closed again. Oh, there's a ceasefire. Oh, they broke the ceasefire. Oh, there's a peace deal coming in. Oh, there's no peace deal. Oh, they bombed Iran. Oh, they bombed Israel. Oh, there's another ceasefire. It's just like a cycle. It's just a bunch of nothingness. And the news is always distractions. It's always psyops and all that. But it's actually now it feels like the enemy has no other cards to play. It literally feels, when I'm reading those headlines, I can just feel it in my spirit. It's like he doesn't know what else to do at this point. It's just a bunch of cyclic nothingness, because I feel like he's waiting for the rapture to happen. I feel like the enemy knows that it's the season just like we do. He knows it's the last second, not seconds now, and he doesn't have any more cards to play. So he's just literally going through these cyclic psyops at this point, because he's just waiting for that big event, because then he can, implement everything that he's been waiting to implement. I know I'm kind of rambling on in this video, but I do feel like 2026 was another shift like 2020 was. And it's just really interesting watching almost every
Hey, Jane. From Tasmania. Tasmania. Tasmanian Devil. I used to watch that as a kid.
Everybody talk about how they can feel like something is about to break, something is wrong, something is coming. You know, just 6 months ago, we had some of that, but we didn't have it as prevalent and strong as we do right now. And I just wonder, you know, watching all of the cyclic headlines that just come to nothing, it really does feel like the enemy's just throwing out blanks because he's just waiting for that major event, the removal of the church, the removal of the bride, to happen so he can implement, you know, he can push the green light, because that's when everything actually will hit the fan. You know, people think this is chaos. People think this is stressful.
I was just thinking it's going to get worse. That ain't good.
Think this life is hell.
It's like hell on earth.
What is coming. And that's why it's so important for us to get out there to warn the world about what is coming. For those of us who know, who read the word, you know, we know exactly what is coming. We know it's hell. We know hell is about to literally open up. The big event that everybody feels is coming is the rapture of the church. It is the removal of the bride, whether you believe in that or not. And, you know, when that event takes place, the world is literally going to stop. It is going to be absolute chaos, absolute pandemonium, probably paired, you know, like I think I talked about this before, with a blackout, with a power grid failure, you know, to distract, to try to control the situation. But it's just interesting, if you are a believer, if you put your faith in the finished work that was done on the cross by the Lord Jesus Christ, those who believe in a pre-tribulation rapture, who know we're not appointed to the wrath, life feels not only like Groundhog's Day, but it's like we're a kid done with class, standing on the curb, waiting to get picked up by dad. As a believer, it's just really interesting to sit back and watch, you know, the changes in the news headlines. When you have strong discernment, when you are filled with the Holy Spirit, when you've been paying attention, when you know how the world works, you can read in between the lines. And it's just really interesting watching those changes, watching the enemy. It literally feels like he has no other cards to play. It literally feels like he's just shooting blanks at this point, because he's waiting for that event to happen as well. Just wanted to encourage everybody, because I know life is just so monotonous. It's just so ridiculous right now. And it's hard. The water is muddy. It's hard to even distinguish what is going on right now, what's real and what's not. Put your faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. He is giving, this is last call. That's what this is. This is last call, giving as many souls as possible to get on their knees and repent before the ark leaves, before the wrath arrives. He is giving the last few souls the possibility, the chance to repent before.
Okay. Wow. This is going to get worse before it gets better. That is not what I wanted to hear, if I'm honest. I was hoping it was going to get better before it got worse. But yeah, that is the end. That is the end. Love conquers fear. Spread love, not fear. Yes. That's some wise words to end on, Jane. That is some wise words. Just quickly, for people that are on the live stream and people that are watching later, how this is going to roll, how I'm going to trial this is the Truth Stranger Than Fiction podcast, which has just been led dormant and not been doing anything. I'm going to start doing some live streams and see how it goes, because I want to do live streams, but I didn't want to get in the way of normal red or blue pill content over on the YouTube channel. So I'm going to keep it as it is. I'm doing 2 videos a day at the moment, one on the red or blue pill reaction channel, one on the red or blue pill. And that is for UK time and then America, Australia time. So I'm trying to just basically cover all angles. And then I'm going to be doing live streams on the Truth Stranger Than Fiction podcast. I'm starting off with this content because I know it's what we love. And then what I'm hoping to do is to grow it into a live stream where people can come on, go through stories, and maybe looking at deeper dives into some crazy stories as well. So that is what we're looking to do. But yes, thank you all for watching. Appreciate appreciate all the support as always. I hope that you have a good day, well, morning, evening, or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. And I'm going to do a live stream again tomorrow, same time. So if you want to come in for a live stream, pop in. But if not, I've got the normal videos going on the red or blue pill. So we've got one going on. We've got one going on fine in about 4 hours time, 9 p.m. UK time, and then 3 a.m. UK time, which is like, I think that must be about 10 p.m. in America. Right. Anyway, I'll leave you today, peeps. Thank you all.